a bit of a public service announcement needs to be said, because it can just be a waste of $15,000 or $20,000 because it doesn't get you anywhere if water's used. Absolute waste of money. We had a case in Brunswick, some areas of Brunswick, very susceptible to clay, and clay absorbs a lot of moisture, expands and contracts. So we did have the case with this extension was done in around the 90s. So it was a, let's call it, modern concrete beam in the ground all along one side of the boundary, around about 12 metres, was a good concrete beam, but it had fallen 90 mil across that 12 metres. We were able to dig underneath that beam and jack it up and basically get it back to level, and then underpin, which is basically concrete, pouring concrete again, no shrink or out, and that will hold. You can do that with the modern footing systems, but if you've got an older home that's got a bluestone footing, that's not a continuous beam. Bluestone footing is basically footing system of rubble, and messing around with that, I don't think works very well. I believe in those cases, the options of a resin injection can be more suitable. I'm not too clear on that. We've never done it. We've had clients that have done it previous to us getting to the site, but I believe that might be a good case in those scenarios, because you cannot do the traditional underpinning, which traditional underpinnings generally hit and miss. So along that 12 metres of footing, we would dig a metre section down. That was like 2 metres. Should have seen the workers under there with head torches on, throwing buckets of dirt up. Phenomenal. So you dig a metre, miss a metre and a half, dig a metre, miss a metre, dig a metre, like that. And then we're able to jack up that slab and then pour it. You cannot do that with bluestone footing. You dig under it, it's all just going to collapse. It's a much more difficult exercise. I feel like this is the time to also talk to people about restumping. If you take nothing away from this podcast, take this away. So many people get restumping done. Problem is people don't get engineering for it. So there's no engineering to abide by, no insight. So then restumpers are just guessing, oh yeah, we normally go down 600 in this area, or we normally go 800 millimeters down in this area, and they do that. Even if they do it as per an engineering, the issue often is that they are digging underneath the property and often having to squeeze underneath a floor. You can imagine the challenges with this job. It's not an ideal job. I'm sitting up here above ground talking to you. It's much more pleasant than digging a hole under the ground. Trust me, I've done it. It's not that fun. And the thing is, to make their life easier, which you can imagine, is they use water to soften the ground. The problem with that is water expands the clay, and engineers always want us to bear in clay or rock. I mean, you're not going to dig to... Well, maybe you do dig to rock underneath the house. You're not often. So the water they put in expands the clay. And then the new stumps reinstalled. And then over a period of a couple of months, that moisture that was used to make the ground softer dries out, and the clay contracts. During the exercise of digging the hole, the clay is expanded, the stump is installed, and then over a period of a couple of months, over a summer, the clay then contracts. And then you get movement instantly. I've had people think, oh, I think our property's just terrible to build on. We can't build on it. And it's no, it's often that this process isn't done right. It's the unfortunate reality of many people.